Hey guys, and welcome to Teal House Farm. Today we're doing an unboxing video and I'm really excited. We got our homeschool order from the Homeschool printing company. Decided to show you everything that's inside that we ordered and just kind of what the Homeschool printing company offers that helps us keep homeschooling affordable for a large family. So if you want to look at all of the curriculum we use all year, I will post the video below for what we're using this year. But typically what I do for homeschooling is that I kind of piecemeal together curriculum for the different kids. Some of it's depending on what they're really interested in and then also what they need to learn. I don't use a singular program. I feel like a lot of prepackaged programs, they have really good parts and they always have like a lacking part, especially when it comes to Christian-based curriculums. I feel like a lot of times the science is very lacking, especially as you start to get a little bit older, and so I find it works better for our family if we kind of piece together curriculum, pull from companies that I like what they produce, and then put it all together. But one way that I keep it really affordable is I look first at free curriculums. There are a lot of free curriculums online, and it does take a lot of research on my part. It's not just a click and buy because you got to really look through things. But when I get the free curriculums online that you can download, instead of printing them at home on our little inkjet printer where the ink costs $50 a cartridge, you know what I'm talking about, like it's really expensive, it's much more cost effective to order from the Homeschool printing company. They print for us, they have a lot of options, and I'll show you the options. They bind and they put covers on, and so we really get a nice product and it's very affordable. This package came today and it is full to the brim. It's very heavy, and this cost me basically exactly $100, and that includes the shipping and the tax. I think it was $102. So we'll show you what $100 worth of printing gets me and just kind of everything that we ordered. So let's go ahead and get this open. This company for several years, and I will link their website below. It's really basic, really simple to use. A couple things that I really like just about their packaging. One, I like that they use priority mail. It's really easy to track my package, so when I know when it's coming, because of where we live and just how our house is built, there isn't a good place for like the mailman to leave a large package, or the UPS man, where it's not going to get wet if it's raining. And so they send an email when it's being shipped with the tracking number, so I know what day it should arrive, so I can make sure that I'm home around the time the mailman's going to arrive. Or if I'm not going to be home, I can leave like a Rubbermaid container on our porch with a sign on it says package here, and he can leave it in there so my books don't get soaked. I also like that they go the extra mile and they pack the books really tight, paper, bubble wrap. I mean, books aren't going to break, right? But if they get bounced around a lot in transit, or something really heavy gets placed on top and the box gets a little crushed, what you can end up is books that arrive with the pages folded over or crunched in. And by taking that extra step to make sure it gets packaged well, it protects the books and it makes sure that they arrive nice and crisp and clean. Okay, so I'm going to separate these real fast here, and so that I can show you everything that I ordered. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you are the kids' assignment pads. Every year I order assignment pads, and I use these both for making sure that they know what they need to do, for planning ahead, and also for hours keeping. It's all in one, which is really easier for me. I just don't like, some people like to have a family like calendar where you plan out the curriculum for each kid and you have like it on a really big calendar that mom keeps, and I find that I just don't like that. I feel like it's one extra thing to have to write down and then copy it into their assignment books, but it really is up to what works best for you. I just found I never really liked that, and so it works better for me if each kid has their own assignment pad, and then I try to on Sunday go through and I will write their assignments for the week. So the assignment pad is just like 100-something pages of just the daily assignment log, and it has their core subjects, so this will be like their math, their reading, their writing, history, science, and their non-core subjects, which are like PE, or if they do an activity like piano lessons, things that would be like art classes, things like that that they enjoy doing. So in Missouri we have to have 600 core hours and 400 non-core hours between July 1st and June 30th, and that's the school year. And it's pretty easy to accomplish as long as you make sure you're doing a little bit every day. And in order to keep track, I just write at the bottom total time for that day that they spent on their core subjects here, non-core subjects here, and then at the beginning of each book is a total, like just a spreadsheet. So at the end of each month, I'll go through and I'll add up all their totals and just write it down and just make sure by the end of the year that I have that 1,000 hours total. One thing that I also do, so this up here says date, which I've never changed, and I should. It should say day, because I don't actually date the lessons, because sometimes you plan on doing something Tuesday and maybe somebody gets the stomach bug and I've got 3 kids throwing up and we don't do school on Tuesday. So I'll just put the day number, school day number 1, school day number 2, and that way if I get off date-wise, it doesn't annoy me because everything's still in order. Now this is August. I've actually already started our homeschool year. We're already on day like 30 something. I'd have to look what the number is. And I have just kept that on notebook paper until these came in, because I was slow on ordering these. I should have ordered them in June so they'd be here for July. Instead I ordered them in July. They're here in August. And I'm just gonna take those notebook papers and just staple them on the first page and then just add them to my totals. So I'm pretty flexible and stuff like that, but we have started our school year. The best thing about these assignment logs that I really like is I always let the kids design their covers. We use just the Paint app on my laptop. It is really basic. So Annie designed this one. Ivy designed this one. If you can't tell, math is her favorite subject and she wants to maybe be a scientist when she grows up. And Micah really likes history, and she designed this one with cool little history facts she thinks interesting. It makes it easy for me to spot whose book is whose when I'm just grabbing them off the shelf, and it also, they think it's fun to make them personalized and have a cover they enjoy looking at. They're not all identical. I do have 6 children if you've been watching, but I only have 3 that are of legal homeschooling age in Missouri, which is 7 or older. My younger kids do school with me, but I don't need to keep logs for them because they are not of legal age, where if there was ever an issue and I had to report my hours, which I've never had to do and doesn't happen very often, but you always keep them just in case. But I wouldn't have to because they're not old enough, so I don't keep hours. We just work through their preschool and kindergarten things without worrying about assignment logs. Okay, what else did I order? One of the programs that I use that's free is Easy Peasy. I find Easy Peasy online is a great homeschooling addition. I feel like it's good, solid fill-ins. I feel like it's missing some things, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like if you only ever use that for your child's education, you would probably missing the opportunity for them to really have a full scope education. But what it does provide, especially with their language arts curriculum and their math, is it provides extra practice. So I love using their language arts books. These are free. I downloaded them, and they just have a lot of practice worksheets that are just real simple, and they just help to enforce concepts that we can make sure that we are hitting the mark on everything we need to be hitting the mark on. The online book is not the only part of the curriculum. If you go, you'll notice that some days are done on the computer and some days are done in the written book. And so what I do is I just use the written book work, and then I use our other curriculums to fill in the days in between, because obviously this isn't super thick. The Homeschool Printing Company, though, they do a great job printing these, because this is just a real simple black and white book, but they give them these nice covers to help protect all the pages. We get it spiral bound, and I always print black and white double-sided because that's the most economical, and it's pretty darn cheap to have things printed. If you do have a color page as a front cover, the color is free. So these are black and white double-sided is what I had printed, but if you have a color cover, they will print it in color for no additional cost, which is nice. And again, a nice protective plastic and spiral binding so that it'll last the whole school year. Okay, now for my kindergartner, I really like the Relaxed Homeschool kindergarten book. So what I did is I have 2 of these, so there's 4 total here. And this is a month. It's supposed to be a month of kindergarten work. And so the actual Relaxed Homeschool whole kindergarten thing is over, I think it's several thousand pages. If you printed it yourself, you would spend $1 million. But having the Homeschool Printing Company print it for me, black and white, double-sided, again with a nice front cover, it gives us it's much more affordable. What do you need, babe? I have 2 children that'll be using this curriculum, which is why I have double copies of it. And what I do for this one is I copy just a couple of months. I pay for them and have them printed. And when we finish these, I will pay to have printed probably the next 3 months worth. Now I do find with this relaxed homeschool curriculum, it takes us longer than a month because I do supplementary things with it. This covers basic reading skills, basic writing, and simple math for kindergarten level, which is great. But I find that I like to do more on top of what it has, more like hands-on and manipulative activities and reading and math games. And so we kind of fill that in. So this book, each month, so this is 1 month of activities, will probably take us 2 months with the 2 children because we are going to do like a book. We do the book like every other day, and the in-between is more of like a hands-on learning activity. But I feel like I've used this so far with 3 kids, I think, and it's been it gets them really set up to start first grade. I don't like comprehensive kindergarten curriculums from large companies. I feel like they are a waste of your money. They get you to spend that money on your cute kindergartner, and it's a lot of unnecessary, just busy work. And so this is going to make sure that they are ready for first grade without a lot of unnecessary expenses. Kindergartners learn about science being out in the world with you. They learn about history just listening to what the older kids are doing and just through living life for what they need to know. They really don't need a science curriculum and a history curriculum, which a lot of those prepackaged curriculums are going to charge you for hundreds of dollars to get this prepackaged curriculum. It's really unnecessary. To be ready for first grade, they need to have their basic reading skills down, their writing skills, and they need to have a positive attitude about learning. That's probably the most important thing. And so I don't cram a lot of subjects into kindergarten. We stick with the basics, the reading, writing, the math. And then, we start adding additional things as they get older and can sit longer. So that's my opinion. Don't waste your money on a really expensive prepackaged kindergarten curriculum. I really like this relaxed homeschool. It's the whole year. When I bought it, it was $50. I think it's like $120 now. But you buy it one time and then you can print it as many times as you need it for as many children that need it. Okay, and then the last thing I did this year is I created reading lists for the girls, and then I just had the homeschool printing company print them for me. So this is Ivy, she's 3rd grader. So these are the books that she's gonna read and the different genres that they cover. And then I just created a curriculum that goes with it. So it's got some worksheets and some activities to show that they understand the story. And Micah is in 5th grade, so I created one for her too. And I tried to line it up. So while they may not be reading the same story, obviously, because they're several years apart and different reading levels, they'll be reading the same genre. So we'll be learning about biographies at the same time, and a lot of times the biographies are on the same people, and so we kind of are incorporating our history that way. And also that way, even though they're reading a separate book, it might have a separate activity. The coordinating activities that go with it, as far as outside the book, can be the same. If there's a documentary that we're going to watch, or if there's a place we're going to visit that goes with that book, they will do it at the same time. So this took a little bit of planning. This is probably the most I've gotten into writing my own curriculum, but I really wanted to encourage my kids to read more, and I noticed that they enjoy reading, but anytime we go to the library, they always pick the same kind of books, and they're getting old enough where they need to branch out. Sometimes you have to read things that aren't your favorite thing, because we learn a lot through reading and can learn a lot about other people and the world around us. So this is this. And the Homeschool Printing Company, again, it's just real simple. Black and white, double-sided printing, and you get the cover and the binding so that it'll last all year. Okay, I think I may have said that's the last one. I almost forgot this. So I also created a kindergarten audiobook for the little guys, because I needed something for them to do just for a short time to keep them busy, because they're too old now to take naps, the kindergarten, the 1st grade. So it's a kindergarten audio book recommendation, but a 1st grader is going to do it with the kindergartner. And I went through like our library's audiobooks, and I have them set up, and there's some that kind of go along with the different holidays that we'll be going through, where they listen to the audiobook, and then there's an activity that kind of goes with the audiobook. Now, I made one silly mistake, and this is my mistake and not the Homeschool Printing Company. I remembered when I ordered this to make sure that I got it not spiral bound. I wanted it 3-hole punch, which is an option that they offer because I knew that there were cutting activities and I wanted the girls to be able to take out the page they're going to color on or cut on without messing up their whole book. But I forgot to have it printed single-sided, so that was 100% my fault. So I got 2 copies of it, but they're double-sided, which means the cutting activities won't work as well. But just for that instance, I'll just have to photocopy that one page because there's a few cutting activities. But that was my fault. I meant to print these single-sided, and I totally goofed on that. But we have 2 copies, one for Annie, one for JJ, and this will give them something to do probably where the big girls do their science lesson, which isn't in this pack because that's a curriculum that I've bought. But it'll keep them busy. It'll get them interested in just listening and learning, cover a lot of different topics, things like that. So that is everything I ordered. Again, all of that was just about exactly $100, and that includes all the binding, all the hardcovers, the shipping, and the taxes. So I feel like it is much more cost effective than me trying to print it myself at home. Not to mention that I don't have a spiral binding machine at home, so that's not even an option for me here. So highly recommend them. You do need to plan a little bit ahead. It's about a 4 to 5 week turnaround usually from when you order to when it's actually on your doorstep. So you do have to kind of plan ahead. It's not going to arrive 5 days later. It's not like ordering a curriculum where it comes real fast. But if you do a little planning ahead, it gives you a great product for an affordable price to help make homeschooling more affordable. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.